For me, as a chronic jet lag person, this was a game changer. Even though these look really weird when you're wandering around the airport or you're in that big clump about to get on a plane, I found them to be very effective in helping me get to sleep when they told me to sleep. I loved that it had 2 very precise containers. And if you're a person that struggles with taking pills and swallowing pills, Kitt is not for you because you will be taking a lot. All of these times that I've flown over the last 5 years, this is the first time I did not suffer from jet lag. I don't know about you, but I suffer horribly from jet lag. I fly multiple international flights every year, and going is bad and coming back is even worse. And so I do everything everybody tells me to. I don't drink alcohol, I modify my sleep beforehand, I watch what I eat, I do all these things, and I still suffer. Well, in my scrolling a few weeks ago, I came across a company called Font who does a fly kit. And I was like, oh, well, let's see what this is about. And I did some research, and the guy who created it worked for years with like the Navy SEALs or something. Those people that go do really extreme military things and need to be able to adapt. And he developed a product for them, and he's now, doing with normal people now. And so I was like, what would it hurt? Let me try to order it. So that's what I've done is I've ordered the fly kit. And so let's unbox it together. And I want you to see my journey, not only opening it and what's in it, but also how it actually affects me on my trip. So in my box is this big old pouch that says Fly Kit on it. And it tells me on the back of it, there's a section about Sustain and a section about instant coffee and a section about organic reset. So sounds kind of official already. Then also in my box, I got these things that they said was really helpful for people like me who are older and do long flights a lot. And they're these leg thingies you put on, and they're supposed to be on pressure points so that you don't get blood clots. Because in all honesty, I'm flying over 250,000 miles a year, and I really do wonder about blood clots. So we'll be trying these out too. And that's it in the box. Okay, so let's open up this big thing and see what's inside. Okay. It looks like a business class pouch, and it's actually a really nice cloth, well done thing. Okay, inside we have, and I really haven't researched what they're sending me, so I really don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. So we're gonna just go through it. Okay, I got a pair of glasses and a glasses case. Cool, it makes everything a weird color. And I like that, because I wear glasses, as y'all have seen. These are big enough to go over my glasses. So I got a pair of glasses and a case to hold them. Then I have a pack that says Sustain, and I got a pack that says Advance, Protect, Mellow. And I got another pack that says Sustain, and another pack that says Advance, Protect, Mellow. It's probably one to go over and one come back. I don't know, but I'm guessing. Okay, then there's this other pouch that I've got that has Circadic Reset Beverage Mix, and then has instant coffee. So there's 3 of each of those. And then we get the instructions. So it tells me what a fly kit is and that it's dietary supplements to help. And then it gives me instructions with QR codes where I'm gonna download an app. An app is gonna take care of all this and tell me what to do. So let me download the app, and then I'll come back and tell you more about it. Oh, I do one of these. Let's open these because we're opening things. Let's look at the leg things because I'm curious about those too. So they smell kind of funny. They smell very medical. Okay, very medical. They come with instructions, and they look like this with pluses and minuses. So they look interesting, and we will see how they work. Okay, Let me get the app. I find this intriguing. I just downloaded the app and I want you walk through it with me. First thing the app tells me is that this is going to be an AI generated program that is I'm going to enter my physiology. I'm going to enter my flights. I'm going to enter all my data in it, and it's going to program what I do. The other thing I was really big about in the instructions, and it said like all the different places, is that I need to make sure that I turn my notifications on, and I never do that for other programs, because the only way during the time I'm traveling that it can tell me when I'm supposed to take stuff or do stuff is that I turn it on. It also told me that my kit contains 2 sets. So with me, it says if your trip over is more than 24 hours, you're going to need 2. And if it's just 1, then you just need 1. So therefore, for my trip, luckily this time it's 22 hours over and 22 hours back. So I'm just fine. Also, it tells me that I can get refills for the number of trips that I'm doing at any time. So that's where you are so far. It says it is going to do effortless travel optimization so that I stay healthy, and it syncs with my flight updates so that if a flight, that's really cool. Okay, that's cool. It says that once I enter my flight information, which I'll do here in a bit, that it actually will sync with my flight. So if a flight gets delayed or canceled, it knows that and will adapt things for me. That's really cool. And it's going to help me master my body clock. Okay. So now I gotta do my login. I'll be back in a second. Okay, I got the stuff as far as names and emails and accounts set up. So now we're gonna walk through the next of it. And it did ask me really big and bold to make sure my notifications were on, that it needs that to work. And the first thing it does is it wants to know where I am, so I can set on where my body is currently. So I'm gonna let it find out where I am, and it's got where I am. I tell it to allow while using the app. It says I'm now going to get started with Kitt. It says I'm gonna get started with Kitt, and I'm gonna start a new plan. It asks me what my sex is. I'm female. It asks me what my age is. I am 54. How well do you sleep on a plane? I don't sleep well. I just don't. And I'm gonna say okay, because I do some. Ask me which upgrades I have, which I have the stimulators. Yes, I have the stimulators. It asks me if I follow a ketogenic diet. That'd be a no. How many caffeine beverages do I have a day? I have 1 to 2. It asked me about my sleep patterns, and then asked me if I want to have alcohol on the trip. And the answer is no. Will physical activity be important on the trip? We'll say yes. And it asked me if I have all these different random problems, which if you fly often, you know why it's asking these. Digestive does not work well on planes. So I put in there the ones that bother me. And then it asked me to create the jet lag plan, which I'm gonna do. I'll create a different one for my outbound and my inbound, which that means going and coming. And now it's going to enter all of my flight information very specifically in this plan. This is really cool. Now, if you're enjoying me explaining the Kitt to you and how it works, my perspective, then make sure you open the description box below. I'll have a link for it, as well as I have a link to all the travel stuff that I offer for free, and you're going to want to check that out. Okay, I've got all my flight stuff in, and it's now asking me what time I usually wake up in the day. I enter that information. This is pretty detailed. I like this. And what time do I normally go to bed? And then it's asked me what time I usually wake up and the country I'll go to. And I usually wake up pretty early when I travel, because I connect with the world that's back here in the States, and I work a little bit before I do. It asks me what time I'll usually go to sleep over there. Okay, and then it says that Kitt is most effective when you go to sleep at least 45 minutes after arriving. Please select a later date time. Okay, so what it's saying is that it works best if I have some downtime before I sleep over there to get rid of jet lag. So because my flight is later, I didn't know what time I land. At that point, I'm just silly. And so I have now adjusted that. Okay, and now I hit submit, and we are good to go. And it's calibrating everything that I need to know and do, and we will see what it says. It also says that I can start my other one, and that was quick. It calibrated really quick. Okay, so now it told me that to view my program, I have a pre-flight checklist of how to pack my Kitt. I have a program of what to do the morning that I start my trip. I have a time zone adjustments. It tells me when to eat my meals. It tells me how to handle flight delays. There's none right now, but it'll let me know. It tells me all the specific details. And so for me, that's pretty easy to follow. So I will let you know as we go and as I do the steps. So I need to go pack my suitcases. My flight kit app has just notified me that I need to be asleep in about 30 minutes. And even though I'm still doing my packing, I'm going to stop because I really want to see if it works correctly. It's also telling me that I have to sleep. Oh my word. It tells me I need to sleep for 10 and a half hours. That might be interesting. And then I get up at 8 a.m. So I'll see you in the morning and we'll see how this is going. Good morning. I thought last night I was supposed to sleep till 8:30. It said 8 this morning. The app woke me up and it now tells me what to do. So I'm supposed to wake up. Okay, I did that. I'm supposed to take a gold pill and eat something high protein. So let's see where I can find Sustain. Okay, that's easy because on here it says that I'm supposed to take the gold pill. Sustain is the gold pill. I take one of them. Okay, so this whole packet, it's kind of confusing for a second. The whole packet is Sustain, and so I take one of these. They look like vitamin D's, and no joke, they're not little. I'm taking Sustain. It says it's supposed to reduce inflammation. I'm having these cool protein bars that I like for the high protein because I usually don't eat now, and I'm not going to go make breakfast. I'll eat more of that. Then at the bottom, I'm going to crack mark as complete. And now it tells me what to do next. Yay, this is fun. My next thing, I'll see you back as I'm supposed to eat food at 12. See you then. The Flight Kit app just dinged me and let me know I gotta do some more stuff. So this time, I'm gonna eat food, which I'm gonna have some wonton soup that's leftovers. And then I need to do 2 Protect pills and 1 Sustain pill. So let's go see if I can find those. So I am going to do 1 Sustain. They still look like horse pills. Just telling you. Actually, technically, they look like vitamin D's. And then it says I'm supposed to take 2 Protect, which it tells me on here the Protects are red. Oh, okay. So technically, when you get in here, it's a little confusing. They're not red. In here, it says on the front, I should have read, there's 8 and 2 and 2. The other thing that's helpful is on the back, it has them back there. So I take 2 of the ones that are marked red, but the pills are actually brown. And now I'm marking that the task is complete. This is cool. Okay, the next time I do something is at 2 p.m. I'll tell you what goes on then. Well, I'm at the airport and my app is telling me that it's time for me to put my glasses on. Okay, we shall see what this is like because I feel like I'm going to feel kind of stupid. We shall see. Everything is orange. Kool-Aid orange. This should be interesting because they have me wear these around the airport on top of my glasses for the next 2 hours. So if you see the dorky person with the glasses, that's what they're doing is jet lag. Hopefully it works. So it's now been about an hour since I've been putting on the weird glasses. What's funny is when I put them on at first, they were very, very orange and very weird. They now have kind of mellowed out. My eyes have adjusted and it's really not so bad. Granted, I still look really weird. In all honesty, I'm able to function. It's not as unusual feeling, but I am working, which probably is not supposed to be doing, but you know, you gotta pay the bills, so there you go. Okay, here goes nothing. These little things they apply, and it's got a battery in it. I say I'm supposed to find my pulse on my leg, which I did. These things are sticky, like the EKG things, and they're reusable. So we shall see how this goes. Okay, I guess I need to read instructions again. It says they're supposed to turn on, but how long do I press that button? Okay, it says we're supposed to push the button for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's on. Okay, this is cool. It makes a little pulsy there, and it's funny because my watch is registering it. Okay, so it's pulsing like in my leg to make sure that blood keeps going back up. Okay, learning something. Next time I wear pants that work better with this. Didn't think about that. Also, I could go the other way next time. Here goes number 2. Okay, we'll see if that stops blood clots like they say. But right now, it feels like somebody is thumping on my leg. So it's now time for me to do the reset. So I'll be doing 3 packs of coffee and one of these reset things. And the great part is the staff back there is allowing me to get into it. So we shall try this. Yeah, the instant. it up with coffee concoction. It tastes like stiff coffee. It doesn't get really excited about mixing together. I just kicked it with a reset. It's really sweet on the bottom. It's really cooks like sugar.
I'm back in the big glass again, which you'll see how it does this time of year for 3 hours. And then I will switch to just being alert in the next airport. So about to leave Frankfurt, and we see how we go with the glasses walking around. They're still very orange, but I'll adjust.
I am now in the Frankfurt airport. I have done 2/3 of my trip from Texas to Baku, Azerbaijan. I am still following all the instructions of my flight kit, and I am wearing my glasses. I got 2 more hours on those. I am finding that I have to adapt a little bit because, like, for example, the schedule tells me to eat at 3. Well, the problem is if I eat at 3 here in the lounge, then I will be late for my booking and getting on my flight. So got to go at 2:30 is what I'll do instead. How do I feel? I usually by this point, because at home it's 6 a.m., but usually by this point I am just stupid. I am just starting to feel silly, not what's going on. But the fact of the matter is right now I feel good. I mean, I feel kind of a little disoriented walking around with the glasses because they are a little weird color. But in all honesty, I do feel good. I wore the leg pulses things. There's a real name, but that's what I call them, the pulsy leg things. On my flight from Dallas to Frankfurt, that's my 10-hour flight. I had them on the whole time I was awake. When it told me to be asleep, I turned them off. I did adjust the thumping of it, but it really feels like someone's just tapping on the leg, which why that is not a bad feeling. If you've ever been a mom and had a kid go, mom, 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 that's what it feels like, is after a while you're like, okay, this is annoying. And I did get over it every now and then, but every now and then it was just like, oh my gosh, this is annoying. So I don't know if they did any good or not. I'll keep using them, but it is a feeling you've got to overlook. But in general, it's going okay. It's a little awkward, something you have to think about, but it is going okay. Now, if you're enjoying my expert review of FlyKit, make sure you open the description box below. I can actually help you plan all the trips that I'm doing now, and it's for free. So make sure you check it out, and let's get you flying and using FlyKit just like I am. Let me tell you how I'm feeling with my fly kit now that I am on the morning after. So I arrived in Baku at 11:30 last night. I made it through customs, immigration, drive, whatever else. I got here at 1:30 in the morning. I was off for what it told me to do. I should have gone to sleep at 11:30 and instead I went to sleep at 1:30. That's life. So I'm hoping this thing is adaptable to meet my schedule. One thing I do say is that I was supposed to get up at 4:30. I slept till 6:30, so that I thought I was making up the difference from the 2 hours that I lost before. In all honesty, I feel like a normal day. So far, I am not feeling jet laggy. I'm not feeling drugged over. I'm not feeling, as I tell a lot of people when I travel, jet lag makes me feel stupid. I'm not feeling any of that. So maybe it's working. I feel kind of bad that I'm not following the schedule exactly, but the fact of the matter is that life is happening. When I was 11:30, when it told me to go to bed, I was at the airport about to go through immigration and customs. So you can't do what you can't do. And so far it seems to not be an issue. I've taken all the pills when I was supposed to. I'm down to what I didn't pay attention to because I'm not as good with the details, is that I have a whole day still to finish this process. So I'm running about 2 hours behind its schedule because the sleep, I slept 2 hours later. I ate when it told me to this morning, but 2 hours later, I took the pill with it. I'll do everything about 2 hours later today because I've had to adapt and see if it still works. So by tomorrow, it will be the official ending of this to see whether I have jet lag or not. But so far, in all honesty, I'm feeling good. I think it's working. It's been about a week since I've returned home from my flight where I used FlyKit, and I want to give you my opinion of how well the product worked for a chronic jet lag person like me. Let me break down the components of what I thought of FlyKit. If you are somebody that wants to find out more about FlyKit, or if you want to on your own, open up the description box below. There's a link that'll get you over to their website and give you all the information and help you actually get your own. Let me break down all the pieces of the FlyKit so then you'll know how I made my decision. the first thing you always see when you see Fly Kitt is this great, cute pouch. And it's supposed to hold all the components, which it does well. The only thing is that it needs to be someplace you can grab it all the time, which is my backpack. And the space in my backpack is very precious. And one thing I found with the Flight Kitt was it's about halfway too tall and too big. So for me, if I ever use it again, I'm going to swap it out for one of those free pouches I get with makeup or whatever else and use a smaller one, because this bag is just too big for the precious space that I've got in my backpack. The next piece of Flight Kitt that I was really excited about were these. These are the things you put on your legs when you're flying so that you don't get blood clots. I have a huge phobia of getting blood clots because I fly over 250,000 miles a year. And it does have an adjustment of how hard it pressures and it follows your pulse. But for me, the minute I put these things on, I had flashbacks to when my kids were little and somebody grabbing onto my pants or my skirt, constantly going, "Mom, mom, 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 mom." So for me, even though I had really high hopes for these, the fact of that it's always doing pressure on your body like this to keep you from getting blood clots was a no-go. It just made me anxious. Why? It probably was working. I could never get over the anxious feeling I was getting from that constant tapping on my body. So for me, these are a definite no-go. When I first opened up the Fly Kitt, I knew it had glasses in it, but I really was kind of concerned about how I look at them. And they, as you can see, they're kind of weird looking. And for me in particular, because I wear glasses, I had to wear them with my glasses underneath and these on top, which they did fit on top fine. But I'm not going to lie, I looked kind of weird. And I actually had one of the people, they're the greeters at one of the business class, go, "Are you okay? Did you have eye surgery?" And I explained what it was. And she was like, "Oh, okay." And thought it was kind of cool. One thing I noticed is when you first put them on, everything is orange. And it takes about 5-10 minutes for your brain to get used to it. But I followed the instructions and I wore them. In the airport, I didn't notice that it affected my ability to sleep easier or sooner. But when I was at the hotel for the first night and they told me to wear them then before I got in bed, and also when I got home, I can tell you when I was in calm places like those that I definitely could tell a difference. And when I finally laid down to go to sleep, I was able to sleep easier. So even though these look really weird when you're wandering around the airport or you're in that big clump about to get on a plane, I found them to be very effective in helping me get to sleep when they told me to sleep. So, love the glasses. One of the other components of the Fly Kitt is the restart, and that helps you for like when I did the flights, both of my sets that were 26 and 28 hours, I need to have the boost to actually move me from one day to the other. And so it's a powder that comes in this cute little sleeve that you mix in with coffee. And I tasted it on itself because I was like, oh, I know it's going to taste bad. When I tasted it itself, stick my finger in my mouth, it actually was very creamy. It reminded me of coconut sugar and something that just was soothing. So when I dumped it into my espresso, as it told me to, it was not offensive. And so I actually enjoyed it. It made my coffee actually seem richer. So that's always a good thing when you feel like you want to spoil yourself. The other thing that was nice about it was that I have a tendency that if you give me coffee or a jolt of something, I have a brain that works around like ping pong balls jumping around in a goldfish bowl. I can't focus and it just makes me nuts. Where this component, whenever I added it to my coffee, it made me feel alert, but I was not like I get on too much espresso or coffee. So I did not have to worry about being overstimulated. It was just the right amount for me. The other big component to Fly Kitt is all the pills you have to take. And if you're a person that struggles with taking pills and swallowing pills, Fly Kitt is not for you because you will be taking a lot. But for a mature international traveler like me who has a doctor that likes keeping me healthy and makes me take 50 million vitamins, this wasn't anything different. The largest one was very similar to take an official. So, just one of those things I'm used to anyway. I loved that it had two very precise containers. This one, the Sustain, is the one you take more than anything else. And then this one is the add-ons that are the ones you take at different times. So these are very obvious in the packaging. What's also nice is these sleeves that they come in. They were easy to open because we all know that sometimes when you get drug packages, you just can't get the stupid things out. Well, that wasn't the case with these. And what I also liked was that they're color coded. So when I was getting a little tired and whatever and not wanting to focus as easily, the sustains are very clearly marked yellow, and that's the big ones. The other thing was that the others, which is the Advance or the Mellow or the Protect, are color code also. So the colors that are on these match the notices that are in the app. So it's pretty foolproof in how you take them, because the yellow, when the yellow alarm goes off, the green or the red or the blue, when the green, red, or blue alarm goes off. So it makes it really easy. The other thing that's exciting for me was the app, which I've shown you a lot of that. The app was very good, that it was personalized to me. I entered how I sleep, I entered my age, I entered my weight, my height, all this stuff about me. So I felt like that app truly was focused on me and my journey. So that was kind of nice to know that. The other thing that I loved were the alarms that were in it, because it literally told me, ding, you need to take this now, or ding, you need to do this now, or ding, you need to go have coffee, whatever. So it told me what I needed to do when I need to do it, which made it very user-friendly. It also, they told me, but I didn't know it. It actually even notified me that one of my flights was delayed before my airline even did. And when it notified me, it says, oh, by the way, your flight has been delayed and we've adjusted your program to match accordingly. With that said, the whole program sometimes is frustrating, because it seemed like every time I was in that big herd outside the gate, about to get on the plane, my alarm went off and said, you need to take a sustain, or you need to do this. And you're standing there with your gear and you're almost touching people, and it wants me to do something. So I struggle as a rule follower that I couldn't do things always exactly when the alarms wanted it, but I did it as quickly as possible. I also, on this return flight, got very good at looking ahead. And if it told me that at whatever time I was going to do that, and I saw that the gate was going to be boarding about that time, I went ahead and took some of my things earlier, and that seemed to be very successful for me also to adapt. And that was just me learning to use the program. So my big conclusion, how did I sleep? I have trouble with jet lag going over, but coming home, jet lag is a bear for me. I'm gonna lie, I have struggled. And this, using my flight kit, was the first time in all of these times that I've flown over the last 5 years, this is the first time I did not suffer from jet lag. Hear me out. Fly Kitt worked for me. So for me, it was one of those things that I landed at midnight. I followed the instructions. I got up the next morning in my office working at 8 o'clock. I have never in the history of my company been able to go to work the next day when I had a midnight flight. I just couldn't. Then that afternoon, my first day home, I took about a 2-hour nap. I just reached a point that I could not stare another email and I need to take a nap. So for me, Fly Kitt is a game changer. For me, as a struggling chronic jet lag international traveler, Fly Kitt was a stud. Definitely not a dud, and I will be using this for every one of my flights going forward. Period. Love it. Now for you, since I've now explained how to not have jet lag, make sure you check out one of these other videos. This is how you're going to stay safe once you arrive at your destination.